So, Haru wasn't a sister, but actually a mother. I guess I should have seen that coming. Just how similar they look. I guess it's really the time thing. The idea of her awakening and then she was as old looking as she was. There is a lot of emphasis in episode 5 of season 2 that, yeah, this is not a normal thing. Like when Haru had Nazna, she wrote to Cabra saying, I don't know how this is going to turn out. I don't know if she could be a vampire. She hasn't even woken up yet. There's like all these oddities about having a child between a human and a vampire. And I was really questioning if that would be in this world, if they would have the aspect of half vampires in this world. I was questioning around Anko because I had a theory that Anko specifically, between her parents, one of them was a vampire and the vampire killed the human. And that's why she hates vampires so much. They implied something again at the end of this episode that I'm kind of curious about, if possibly Cabra was involved in the death of Anko's parents. We'll see, but going back to my point, I'm kind of curious how they'd play this out, and sure enough, they're doing it with Nazna. She's always been a vampire. She was born a vampire. Now, I question a lot of what Ko said in response to this. I mean, obviously, he's excited because, you know, she's never been in love with somebody. They can have their first love with each other, all that kind of stuff. But he was saying that she doesn't have a weakness because she's always been a vampire. I'm like, pause there, bro. Pause. Let's pause a little bit there. Because I really do think there might be a thing where because she is half human, because she was born of a human and a vampire, she might still have a lot of elements of being human. She might already be weak. She might already be in a weakened state that she could be killed. We'll see. I hope not. I hope not, obviously. But yes, episode 5, season 2, this was Cabra. I absolutely fell in love with Cabra this episode. She was absolutely fantastic. Big mama. Cabra mama. Now, yes, there's the whole side of it that she's technically crushing over Nazna because she looks like Haru, but that comes with the territory. That's obviously what they portrayed with her character. She wanted to kill Nazna. Like she said, she was stuck with a child of the guy who took her love from her. What a worse feeling than that, being basically cheated on and then they go off to sleep with some dude and you're stuck with the baby. Yeah, I can see that being a struggle there. But the moment she sees Nazna, she sees Haru. And every time she's doing her hair, she's thinking about, why'd you leave me? Why'd you leave me? Why'd you leave me? But still in the end there, acknowledging that mother aspect. That did I do what you required of me? That was still there. That element was still there. She was still doing something for the one that she loved. So good. It's so good. I was going to be so pissed off if they killed her off at the end of this episode. Because Ko and Nazna legit just left, and they made it look like Anko showed up right then. And she kicks down that door, and I'm like, once again, insane brute strength of her. I swear she's going to be half vampire. But she kicks open that door, and I'm like, okay, that was a total tease. You guys are so screwed up for doing that. This writer's so screwed up for doing that. So this must have been a later time after Cabra finished, cleared out the thing, because she didn't know until that point. But I was going to be so mad if she showed up there and destroyed something. Now, it did technically offset what I was theorizing previously. I mean, the assumption was that the picture was going to be what tied Cabra back to her human life. And so my assumption was going to be that she was going to have to find the picture and destroy it. And no, Cabra said that it wasn't the picture. She said the picture was something that she developed after she was, turned vampire. So the assumption there is that they took the picture and then later on she turned vampire and then she had the picture developed. And thus it wouldn't be. But I think it's still applied. I would assume that would still apply there. But she was talking about like the notebooks and everything else only gave her a slight headache. I'm wondering if it's the blood. Because it was blood that presumably, or at least it was implied, Haru had gotten for her. And so maybe the blood itself is something that she was supposed to get rid of. That was finally, I think that was what they were sort of implying the entire episode, because she kept bringing up how she was sipping the blood just to reconstruct her memories over and over again. And we're at a point now where I have to let it go. I really have to let this go. And that could be the blood. The blood is the most cherished thing of her previous life because it gives her a vision of the one that she loves. She has to destroy that blood. So I hope she connects that. Whatever it ends up being, I hope she connects it. But I do have to say, I say that I'm happy that she didn't kill her, but Honda's name was scratched out in the book. Now, when she arrived at the room, it didn't show her do it, but when she arrived at the room and seen that it was empty, she could have realized that point, I've lost my tool to kill Honda, I might as well X her out. Or when she got to the place, she's like, I got what I need, I'm going to kill her, might as well write this out. Better not. You better not. It could mean that she's already taken on Honda. I don't think so, though. I don't know why it would have that scratched out, but we'll see. But anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. I really need to get to the episode proper, start from the beginning, otherwise I'm going to forget something. But anyways, open up the episode. From the very beginning, we have, of course, the scene with Honda or Cabra. I want to say Honda because of the note. Cabra and Haru. I love this scene, obviously, because it's emphasizing how Cabra is finally able to do things now that she's a vampire. I just love seeing how she's just enjoying herself. She's able to have fun. She's just having a blast with Haru. And this is something that she's never been able to experience before. Like, she's always been bedridden, sick all the time, very weak. And again, she could not drink. And here she's able to do it. And so she's just having a blast. It's like, I feel so bad for this girl. She's finally able to be alive, which again emphasizes how much she falls in love with Haru. Finally, I'm able to do things that I enjoy. She's always been at my side, and now I'm just having a blast with her. She's obviously growing very, very attached to her at this point. But yeah, she gets hired into the hospital. It implies here that the director is a vampire too. I don't know if that's Nico. I don't think Nico. I know Nico is heading something, but I'm not sure if it was a hospital. It could be, but either way, it's implying that the hospital is being led by which it makes sense why they were able to like siphon blood all the time and everything. Well, because the director is a vampire, so hey, nobody's gonna get in trouble for this. They're probably doing it by their request. Yeah, implying the idea that she's given her blood and that she needs to learn how to, go and find her own blood. Which again, I think there's kind of a difficulty there because she doesn't want to be with anybody else besides Haru. And really, Haru has to kind of push her to go be a vampire. Do what we do. Go get your own blood. All that stuff. Anyway, it was good. But anyways, yes, Nazna asks then, who is this Haru person? That's when she says, okay, I'll tell you. But first, we're going to tie your hair. Like always, got to tie her hair just like she always does. Fix her hair. But yeah, that's when we get a scene with Haru and Cabra. They're at a bar. And yes, Haru says that she doesn't want to drink. I immediately was like, oh my gosh, she's pregnant. There's Nazna. That was like the click there. The moment she said that she didn't want to drink, I'm like, there's Nazna. She's got a bun in the oven, and that bun is called Nazna. It's coming. But yeah, she says that she's thinking about getting married. I love the whole little bit where Cabra keeps spitting on the guy, but she's so beautiful. The guy keeps like crushing over her and going off and getting more drinks. She keeps spitting on him. It's like, yes, ma'am, spit on me again. Anyways, yes, Haru says that she's going to get married. Not really officially married, but, they're going to act like it. And yes, it's with a human. Spit again. Yeah, the reveal there that Nazna apparently is half vampire because her mother got with a human, which is interesting here. There's a couple interesting things here. Obviously, is yes, one that Nazna's father is a human. But the main thing here is the confirmation that vampires can get pregnant. Because that was, again, when I was talking about Anko, was a curiosity for me. I was curious if vampires in this world could even get pregnant, especially with a human, which here it's getting into it. It makes sense that it was a curiosity for me because the way Haru's putting it, she doesn't even know what's going to happen. They literally don't know what's going to happen. As we find out later on, we have her basically leave. She leaves a note with Cabra, says, hey, please take care of my child. I'm sorry I have to leave like this and say goodbye this way, but hey, can you take care of my child? I don't even know what's going to happen with her. She hasn't woke up yet. She's an oddity. I don't know if she's going to eat regular food. I don't know if she needs blood. Please take care of her. And as we see, when Cabra finally meets her, yeah, she looks like she's in her late teens. Like, this is an oddity. And it sucks that they don't really give a sense of how long it's been since she actually had the child to that point. Like, did she grow quickly and then just stop at that certain point? That's the oddities that come around again. Something that's completely unknown that we're kind of discovering through Nazna, and it seems like a lot of vampires are discovering through her. But yeah, a lot of the stuff around Cabra right here really does suck because, again, where it starts out here is right after finding out that Haru is going to go get married, Cabra's shooken because I thought we loved each other. She fell in love with Haru, and Haru was able to turn her into an offspring because of that love, and now here she's running off with another guy. She doesn't even understand this whole concept, and thus she's now going, oh, that's right. I'm just an offspring. We're not really lovers. She's now with that guy. We were never a thing. That sucks for her. And again, there's so much, once again, like the previous episode, so much around Cabra's character is that creak of the chairs. It's the hospital room. It's the creaking chair where somebody's sitting beside her bed, constantly just, whispering things in her ears and telling her that everything's great and they're going to go hang out together. It's that screeching chair that she absolutely hates. Here again, hearing it constantly as she's realizing this. But yeah, a big mystery as to what happened to Haru. She said that she had to leave quickly. I'm sorry that I had to say goodbye this way. Please take care of my child. Gone. Like, did she make somebody mad? Did she upset somebody? Was Anko's family after her? Is Anko from a family of assassins for vampires and they were coming after her and she realized it? Curious. Maybe it was a taboo that she slept with a man and had a child of a human. Maybe there's a taboo there and that she just broke it and so she has to get out of there. But it did seem to kind of leave it open that Haru's still alive. So we might actually see this character that I was really kind of hoping doesn't die, shows up in the cast later on. We'll see. But yeah, Cabra going to take care of Nazna. That was an interesting one as she's going there. And again, she's jealous. This is going to be a child of some other man that, had with the one that I loved. Like, she thinks this is ridiculous. The child's probably already dead. This doesn't even seem normal. Goes up to the room, says, I'll just kill it and get rid of it. This is just a nuisance. And again, walks in that door. I love how they pulled off that shot. She comes in there, has that face like she's just ready to kill this thing. Like, all right, let's take care of this. Walks in there. But the moment Nazna turns and looks at her, she sees Haru and all those shots and the face just lights up and it's like, oh, I can't do this. They did really good in that scene. I really love how they portrayed that. Just the expression, just the way that Kabra's face just changes so many times in that scene, from like sorrow to pain to acceptance and joy, but sadness. It's like there's so much emotion in her face in that scene. But this is where, yeah, absolutely love Cabra, because it turns into this whole thing where from that point on, she says, yeah, this was like an infant. When I first met Nazna, she was like an infant. She couldn't speak. She couldn't even feed herself. She was literally a child. And yeah, Nazna's questioning, why don't I remember anything from back when I was born or whatever? She's like, well, ask Ko. Ko, do you remember anything when you were 2? Again, Nazna was a child, an infant when I met her. And she was just, yeah, she had to literally in her face show her how to speak. She had to teach Nazna how to speak. Again, Cabra, I love her. Like everything. But everything around that whole situation just breaks my heart because, like, there is an element here where as she's trying to help Nazna, who is literally a child, an infant, she's trying to help Nazna with all these things. At the same time, she can't not see the one that she loves, while also being reminded by the fact that this person in front of me is, from another love. There's all those mixed emotions in there that just absolutely tore my heart apart. The one main thing is really the idea of looking at somebody that looks so much like somebody that you love, but yet it's not them. There's that whole element there that I, not in the same obvious regard, had my own experiences with somebody that just not being the same person that you once knew them as. There's that conflict there, and she obviously has it as she embraces Nazna and says, Haru, why'd you leave me? Why'd you leave me? She's literally asking Nazna as a proxy because she sees it, and she's in pain this entire time. Which, like, what she gets into later on. The idea of being with you was insufferable. It was just constantly, I'm reminded by the person that left me. But yet she still did it. She loved her. I mean, that was like later on when they actually part ways. At some point, she's like, done talking about it, and she tells him to get out of there. And as they're leaving, Ko goes to see Cabra and asks her. And even later on, when Ko's talking to Nazna, she's talking about as well this conflict in their mind that Nazna, while always around Cabra, had a sense that it was an awkward feeling, an uneasy feeling, that she doesn't want me around her. I don't like this feeling of being around her because it obviously seems like she's not right. She doesn't like me being around her. The feeling's mutual. But as we see Cole kind of pointing out to Cabra, no, you say that it was insufferable. You say that you didn't like being around her, but that's not right, right? When I first met you way back here, you were like a mother. You were asking about me as a human because you were wondering if I should be around Nazna. You were being protective of her. You were treating her like your daughter, and you were asking this human boy, who are you? But what I love most about the scene, and good boy Ko right here, him pointing out the fact that she is essentially like a mother, it is confirmation to Cabra herself, after all these many years, she fulfilled the wish of the one that she loves. I was able to do that, because she kept questioning, did I do a good job? Did I do what you wanted me to do? Was I able to pull that off? Because in the end, whether she wanted to be around Nazna or not, whether it was a painful thing or not, she chose not to kill her and take care of her because she's seen Haru. But additionally, no matter what Nazna says later on about the idea of being around this person, this spawn of somebody that basically, slept with the one that you love, it's still half the child of the one you love. It's still their child. It was so good. I loved all this bit right here. It's just so freaking good. The conflict plus also the love element that's there. Yeah, I love that she's like, don't presume that you know me. You know nothing about me. But giving Ko the warning, giving him that warning, don't be like me. Build a good relationship with Nazna. There's almost an element here where she's seeing that she did something wrong in her pursuit of Haru. She fell in love with Haru. Haru changed her, but there wasn't really a bond there. And I think that she almost took for granted her time as a vampire, that ultimately the memories of love with Haru was all in her human life. And so she doesn't have anything to hold on to. Whereas I think there's almost a warning here to Ko, establish something really strong with Nazna before and after, I think is the real key thing there. Anyways, yeah, they leave. Nazna said that she's going to come back after what Ko says. Yeah, I think that she did like you. Goes back to the next day. What are you guys doing here again? I thought I told you not to come back here. Okay, well, you have to put on outfits. All right, they're cosplaying in there as the nurse and the patient. And then she's like, come sit down on my lap. And it clicks for Nazna. It finally clicks for Nazna. All those times that I was around Cabra, I always had this awkward, creepy feeling. What was it? Yep, I think she's thirsty for you. She's thirsty for you as Haru. Which, that's a whole oddity there. It's like the whole daughter aspect that you want to get in there, but at the same time, nope. She literally just sees the one that she loves. She literally sees that. It's dorky. But that's when they reveal to her about the whole thing with the most precious item from when they're humans that they have to protect. And again, she notes here that when she sees the notebook and all the other stuff that's in that room, it just gives her a slight headache. But the picture itself, she said that was after. So it does imply to me that the picture has nothing to do with it. But I think that might end up being sort of an incorrect mindset there, and it could end up being something used against her later on if she chooses not to destroy it. But it does seem like she's open to it. Like, okay, yeah, it's time for me to get rid of that past. Again, I think that is sort of a signal there that she's going to destroy the blood. I think it is the blood that really is tying them together. But either way, she says it's going to destroy it. And again, she does ask who's this detective that's going around attacking people, and she picks up on Ugisu. It seems like Cabra immediately jumps on the name. Now, I assume that the Ugisu is going to be her actual family name, so it implies to me that she doesn't necessarily know who Anko is, but she knows Anko's family. And that could get into the idea of her possibly being tied into or overhearing what happened to her family. Maybe that's possibly what Anko is, recalling the disaster that happened with her family. The initial trigger point for why she hates the vampires. And she might actually know about that. So I'll be curious if she actually gets in that later. And again, it could just be sort of a lineage of people. They could be a lineage of vampire hunters that just recently start kicking up again. Maybe somebody knowing that their family line is vampire hunters came and killed her family, and she survived. And so she's picking up the mantle. Probably has some document somewhere in her family that, describes how to do this whole process of killing them. I don't know. Curious. But yeah, again, I hate that. As they're leaving, Anko walking in there, I'm like, don't you even... And at the same time, Ko is talking to Nazna about the idea of how Anko met a bad vampire versus how he met a good vampire. The idea of your experience is what molds you. And so he assumes that what molded Anko into what she is a bad experience. And so he kind of wishes that she met somebody good, like I did, kind of thing. And yeah, getting the idea of what drives somebody to want to kill people. What would be so happening that would mold you into being a killer? And again, I think that's going to turn to some very dark thing around Anko. But yeah, when she kicked open that door, I'm like, you better not. I'm loving him, Cabra, don't do that. But yeah, her notebook. She says, oh no, I was a bit too late. And she looks at the notebook. Again, I'm still stuck on Honda being scratched out, which makes me wonder if what was in the room was weakened Honda, and she, again, went to the blood instead, used the blood to kill Honda, and then she went to the room and said if she was too late because she wanted to get more information in the room about how to kill somebody else. And again, she could have found out Nazna's history through what was in the room. I don't know. I to have Honda killed off screen is going to tick me off so bad, so it better not do that. I'm going to guess that she just scratched it out because she was going there and she figured she can kill her. We also had Kikyo, which obviously, again, she was going after Akihito in order to get information about her, but she doesn't know that connection yet. Then there was Sujishiro, and then the one that it zooms in on is Koho Kobe, and it's pointing towards LG, which Koho Kobe obviously being the one that likes to go after the the virgins, the new boys, the first loves. She likes the first loves, so we'll see what she ends up finding. I'm guessing that's going to be our next character to really get into and dive into their character. Now, the question mark that I have is, why does it point to an LG? I don't recall what LG would stand for. I don't think we have a character so far that's LG. Yeah, there's nothing on my outline. We'll see. But yeah, that's it's quite an episode. Quite an episode. Episode 5 of Season 2 of Call the Night. Really, really phenomenal stuff. And again, I absolutely adore Cabra. If something's happened to her, I'm going to be really ticked off. Better not, but we'll have to wait and see. But anyhow, that's my thoughts on the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit the like button down below. If you like this content and want to watch more, become a member of the channel. Until next time, y'all take care.